Time to pour one out for Top Thrill Dragster. All right, now Top Thrill 2 has obviously had some issues this year. Um, I am so exhausted by the entire ordeal, and I'm kind of just tired of talking about it just altogether. Have been for a little while now. But we finally have some absolution on the situation altogether. So we have this statement from Cedar Point. Really non-statement. It would be really nice if they would actually tell us something about anything, but there are a few hints here that I guess are something that we don't know as much about, but we sincerely appreciate your patience while Top Thrill 2's manufacturer, Zamperla, has been working diligently to complete a mechanical modification to the coaster vehicles. Unfortunately, the manufacturer will not be able to complete the modifications needed in time to reopen the coaster in 2024. We are extremely disappointed that we cannot open the ride this season, but remain committed to delivering a reliable, consistent, and unparalleled coaster experience for our guests in 2025. In the meantime, please accept our sincere apology for the disappointment and inconvenience. We look forward to having you visit us again in the future to enjoy world-class rides, signature events, entertainment, and attractions that Cedar Point is known for, and we thank you for your continued support of our park. So, okay, I'm a little bit... again, I'm kind of fine with all of it. I'm kind of annoyed by all of it too at the same time. But one thing that I've heard repeatedly from me is like, Trent, why are you kissing B&M's butt, or why are you kissing Intamin's butt? And they make terrible rides too. Think about how many times Top Thrill Dragster was down all the time. Think about how often Millennium Force has been down. Yeah, sure, those rides have been down. Absolutely, they've been down. And I expect that things are going to go down from time to time, especially at Cedar Point, because Cedar Point pushes, whether it's Cedar Point itself or it is Cedar Fair altogether. Either way, it's kind of potato. Either way, they are pushing for the best things, the cutting edge things at Cedar Point, and that's the name that Cedar Point has made for itself. So I'm not kissing Intamin's butt, but that being said, also when you look at a ride like, well, Hagrid's, but that doesn't have nearly as many forces on it. But when you look at a ride like Velocicoaster that Intamin has done, the like new Intamin, not the Millennium Force Intamin or even the Maverick Intamin, but I don't know what's happening outside, but apparently everybody wants to make as much noise as they can out there. But if you're looking at the new Intamin, the one that has made like world-class rides like that, not to mention then this new ride in the Middle East. I don't remember where it is right now. But when you're looking at that ride too, 500 feet tall with some incredible, crazy forces, a lift or not lift hill, but an airtime hill that is bigger than Top Thrill Dragster, I think. Just a normal airtime hill that's just crazy huge. So when you look at all these forces that they're putting on, Intamin really has the chops to understand some of the forces that are going to be on a coaster. Where Zamperla, as much as I know people hate hearing me say this, or maybe some people do, I guess. I don't know that everybody does, but Zamperla never had any kind of specs for anything like that. So now, yes, no matter what kind of models you make, no matter how much you try to do things as well as you possibly can try to do them, you're always going to have something that's going to flop, because when you put live people on a coaster, it doesn't react the way that all of your models reacted. People are unpredictable. People do things that are a little bit different. But again, when you have a lot more information under your belt, things that you've actually done, that you have stats for, that you have understanding of, that you have wheels that seem to have worked better for, all that kind of stuff, then that's a good thing. as I probably made it clear by just saying that, I think that the problem probably has to do with the wheels. We've seen the trains come in and out of Cedar Point just constantly, and they take off the wheels and they put on new wheels, and they take off the new wheels and they put on other wheels, and it's just been kind of a back and forth constantly, of taking the trains and doing stuff with them with that. Now, maybe there's more to it than that. I have no idea, but the fact that they said mechanical modification to the coaster vehicles makes me feel like there probably is something to do with the wheels, or at least with the trains themselves properly, that's actually causing this problem, and that's doing this. It does kind of make me upset. I kind of look at two different ways that I can look at this. To me, I see that Cedar Point could have really been earnestly trying to get a lot of this done. And it does kind of seem that way. Like, I don't want to think too negatively of them, although I'll say the negative thing in just a minute here. But I don't want to think too negatively of them, because I have seen them actually testing this ride. I have seen them trying to do as much as they can. I've seen multiple times, even when I was there, them actually testing the ride, them working on it as much as they possibly can, lights being on at night, all that kind of stuff. I see people there during the day with tents over them, working in the intense heat. So I really do think that Zamperla has put their best foot forward on this, and without more information, I don't feel like I can really negatively say that, or at least substantively say that anything wrong is happening here. It does feel kind of like maybe they got to like the end here and they were like, well, yeah, we might be able to do some stuff, or we could do a tax write-off and make our stockholders more money. And that frustrates me, just the thought of it. I don't know if that's true or not, but just the fact that they never could get this open in months of the park being open, like 3 or 4 months. They can't open it in that much time. So we've been going through this since what, April? Has it been since April? At least since May. So that's May, June, July, August. So yeah, that's 4 months at least. And then they're just throwing in the towel now and being like, yeah, we're not going to have it open for Halloween weekends. Yeah, it just feels like they should be able to have completed all of this if it was at all possible. And it is very frustrating to me that no matter what they've done, they haven't been able to do that. Now, that being said, I'm sure it's frustrating to them also. So I guess there's that. It does kind of seem like no matter what happens, Cedar Point is really trying to pawn this off as not their problem whatsoever. And that is definitely frustrating to me. And we've rehashed this before also. Top Thrill 2 is their problem. And the fact that they hired Zamperla to do it is their problem also. Like, you can't hire people who don't have the stats to be able to back up that they can actually do this and still be like, well, we're not culpable for this at all. Like, I get it if it was someone who really it seemed very, very clear that they could definitely do this. And I do have to say, Top Thrill 2 is a great ride. It worked well with the little that it worked. But you could make an incredible car that looks beautiful and delivers an incredible experience for one ride. But if you can only get one ride out of that car, then the value of that car is significantly diminished. This ride opened for 1 week, was fantastic for 1 week, and then after that was gone, out of the picture, a lawn ornament at Cedar Point. I mean, it seems pretty clear to me that that's incompetence. Now, again, they're taking risks and they're doing exciting things. Cedar Point has a precedence of doing this also when it comes to Intamin. So I understand where Cedar Point kind of thought they could do it, like it was a kids manufacturer, all that kind of stuff. But also at the same time, somehow for one reason or another, Intamin was able to do a lot more. And maybe it was that Cedar Point coached them. Maybe it was that Cedar Point didn't try to get the cheapest thing that they could get even at that point. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's that there's a lot of things in the world that have changed. There are a lot of pieces to the puzzle that are more difficult in a post-COVID world where things can't come overseas. So you can't have things from Italy come overseas here as quickly because Zamperla is an Italian company. Maybe it has to do something with that. Some of the supply and demand chains are a little bit more difficult now than they were back in 2000. So maybe those are the differences. So I'm not trying to come down just incredibly hard on Zamperla or on Cedar Point, but I do wish that Cedar Point would make more of an effort to be like, yeah, okay, we take some culpability here, but also at the same time, Zamperla still needs to work this out. We need to have them work this out. I wish we could see a little bit more of that. Of course, this is all done with like legal jargon and all that kind of stuff because it's got to be made to protect the company, all that kind of stuff too. So, but it does also make me feel kind of frustrated to see that Cedar Point is also saying we remain committed to delivering a reliable, consistent, and unparalleled coaster experience. Unparalleled. I mean, I kind of agree. I mean, I don't know that you can get a better coaster experience than Cedar Point when they're working. But consistent, especially after this year, it's like, oh, could you use a better word? That's just a bad choice of words at this point. So it's definitely frustrating. It's definitely disappointing. Again, I've reiterated this multiple times. I'm glad to see that Cedar Point has done other things like Boardwalk Nights that really kind of offset the disappointment of Top Thrill 2. I really do have this like tinfoil hat theory that that was not planned at all. And I'm also glad to see that Halloween's has been extended all the way into November 2nd. And they know that people want that kind of stuff. They know that people are looking forward to spending time in the parks, and they could stay open another extra week on top of it. And really, things are going to end now with like the season will end, I believe, at midnight, which is great. Like that's such a better cap for the end of the season rather than having it be like, well, we're done. It's the 28th of October, and it's 8 p.m. So bye, everybody. See you later. And it's like, what? That feels so unfinished. But the fact that they're actually staying till November 2nd, that's exciting. Like that feels really good. So I'm excited to see that that kind of stuff is happening and that they are doing other things beyond just Top Thrill 2. They're not just adding insult to injury anymore by like, oh, look, here's a booth of a game themed to Top Thrill 2. Here's some merch themed to Top Thrill 2. Here's a show themed to Top Thrill 2. It's like everything was just themed toward that. And it's like, oh, come on. Cedar Point, you're just killing me here. But at this point now they've changed that. So it doesn't feel quite as much like insult to injury. I kind of expected this overall. It is very frustrating to me. One way or another. Please let me know what you guys think about Top Thrill 2. Is this something that's very frustrating to you? Is it something that you are not going to come back to the park for, or that you will change your plans for, or whatever? Please let me know what you guys are thinking and how that affects your trips and your plans for this season, one way or another. Now, the last thing that I really wanted to get into in regards to Top Thrill 2 is one glaring omission here that I really wish I could have seen Cedar Point address is Top Thrill 2 isn't reopening. So, what about people who bought passes, especially fast lane passes that were marketed as all season, which means you could have as many rides on Top Thrill 2 as you wanted? If you do not know about this, most people, if you even buy a fast lane, if you buy fast lane for the day, if you buy individual fast lane, or if you have like a prestige pass for a single use fast lane, any of those you could only use one. So you could only come and use it one time at Top Thrill 2, and then once you were done, even if you bought fast lane for all day long, once you were done riding Top Thrill 2 after that point. I'm sure there would have been some sort of loophole, and I would have tried to exploit it. But that is what the theory actually was. Once you bought that, you were done. So if that is the case, where you could only use Fastlane one time, but if you had Fastlane for all year, that Fastlane was good as many times as you wanted if you shelled out the money for that. So they marketed this ride and that Fastlane experience on this ability to get Top Thrill 2 as many times as you possibly could over your trip. So if that was the marketing that they did for Top Thrill 2, are they going to offer refunds for that? Or some sort of partial refund or something, since the experience that they marketed is not the experience that they delivered. So that's the question that I have now. And like I said, it's glaringly omitted from this. And I feel like it's glaringly omitted because I think they just want people to be like, well, oh, you know, just forget about it. It's fine. I'm not going to worry about it, or I'm not going to try to put up a big stink. They want people to have to go through the inconvenience of being like, no, you're going to give me my money back because this is what you told me I was going to get. And they want people to shy away from it because they don't want to have to give the money back. I mean, sorry, Cedar Point, you kind of deserve to have to give the money back. Sorry that you chose Zamperla. I'm sorry you chose a stinker that most of us saw was a problem from the word go. I don't know. Am I making sense? Maybe I'm not making sense anymore. Please let me know what you guys think down there. I'm so confused by the whole thing. But the whole fact that you chose someone like Zamperla to represent you in this way, I mean, that's where you have some culpability in this. And you do deserve to have to give people their money back who did not get the experience that you marketed your all-season fast lane on, or to have to give them some, you know, some compensation for it. I'm not necessarily saying all of it. You know, if you came to Cedar Point and you still got to use it, then there's value in that also, for all season long. But so I'm not saying there's no value in Fastlane this season at all, but you gotta you gotta deliver on the experience that you promise. So especially when it comes to Top Thrill 2. Now maybe there's some caveats in there. I don't know, but that feels like definitely there should be some sort of way to address it, or maybe that they can still use it again next year. That could be another good way for Cedar Point to go about it. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. What do you think Cedar Point's ability to kind of make things right should be with this, especially when it comes to Fastlane? With everything else, I mean, you paid for a ticket to come into the park. Any day of any week, some things are not going to be open. It's okay that Top Thrill 2 was not open for one single day of somebody's visit. It's not okay that Top Thrill 2 was not open all season long at any point. So, like I said, let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear from you guys down in the comments. Like I said, I'm frustrated. I'm overdone by the whole thing. I'm done with having this conversation. I'm done with talking about it because just the whole situation just sucks. But let me know what you guys think down below. Press the subscribe button down below if you haven't yet. We're going to be trying to get up to like 35,000 at some point, but it's been like 30,000. I don't know, 30 down to 30,005, back up and down constantly like a yo-yo. So keep pressing that subscribe button. Join the channel if you want to down below to support what we do here at Not Your Normal Guy. And also you can get additional videos. So if you want to see every single video that comes out right away, and or you want to have specific videos made for you, please press that join button. I'd love to see you guys down there. So thank you guys so much for hanging out, and let's go. Thank you so much once again to Casey Wood. Oh my word, Casey Wood. Thank you so much for your support of the channel. Let's go. Hey, thanks for watching. I release theme park related videos at least a couple times a week, so press that subscribe button if you made it this far. Also, check out similar videos in the playlist to the right or find my newest video to the left. Thanks again, and let's go!